Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM24 Youth Factory, episode 28. We had our youth intake last time. We looked at potential, but what about current ability? How have they come in? I've already eliminated the guys that we're not keeping around. I let go of a half dozen or so. We're keeping a fair few, and that's because the potential of the group, the worst one we've kept, has a potential of 98. A current ability of 39, and then it quickly jumps to 44 plus from there for the entire rest of the group. So they're coming in a strong place, stronger than what we've seen in the past, but overall best potential, really still only shaped up to a 132 potential ability, which means not great. Definitely can play at a couple higher levels for us, maybe League One, maybe Championship, but no one who's going to be Premier League capable, because nobody's going to actually reach that 132. They're going to reach 120 something. I think at best you're looking at Championship level. In terms of current ability, you can see how two guys stand out a little bit. Spong comes in at a 60 112, and Sam Lines a 68 126. Already one of the best players in the U18s. And in years past, that would be straight into the first 11. But that's years past. Definitely not these days. Also noteworthy, Phil Hewitt is no longer the best current ability player, but having overtaken him is Ashley Potter, who's playing as a fullback for us, and that is a position of need. So Ashley Potter very well could feature in the upcoming season, as well as Phil Hewitt, as they're both standing up in the U21s. Cornick Crockard is the best player, but has that limited potential, and there's going to be a lot of potential ability kids that are just let go. Finn Coots, Mark Walker, both have featured at the senior level. Mark Walker is a good player, training well, but just has a limit. Jonathan Healy, Brandon Forbes, Marvin Primus, Tom Doran, a lot of key guys. These, anything below there's a lot of 84s here, but pretty much this Davy Arthur and below, their days are numbered with the club. We might hang on to some of them for one more season, but the majority are going to be gone. We're starting to get into the era of 90 plus potential and or current ability to feature with the senior squad at any stage and have a future with the club. Just to drive that point home, the current ability of the senior squad, you can see how majority are 94 plus. And then you have Redknapp, the 1 week holdout, right fullback position, who has a limitation. He's not there, but he's only slowly progressed towards that 88. And we've got somebody in Rossini who's now just 2 points below him, but a 11 potential, and now a new player who's already into the 80s, and that's why I'm thinking Ashley Potter might be the future of the position in the short term. And Redknapp, who's never amounted to much. I don't think he's had a single season with a 7.0 rating. Not one. Hasn't been terrible this year. He's been better. 1 goal, 5 assists, 2 XG. He's done a little bit, but still only managed a 6.95 rating. But guys like Kamara and Baker and Kasungo Matumbo are just about done, while Koulibaly is, chasing that backup spot. And already McCartney has come in. Is he that next one? Well, he's only a 74 128, but it looks like there is kind of a battle for who's going to fill it out. But yeah, a few of these fringe guys are going to be gone, and for all we know, this summer we may lose a player or two at our top end. Of course, our top end really now, Adekunle pretty much alone with a 123 current ability. And now you got 4 players in the 110 range. You got 3 players in the 100 range. You got 3 players that have a 99 that are right there, 1 point away. And then a 97 and 94. We've got definite quality these days, and we can definitely field quality. It's just the consistency part that is a little bit lacking this season. Davidson, 28 goals. We can't score when he sits on the bench. But then you've got Lanahan Penrith at 18-11, Adekunle at 15-18 assists. James Wilkinson largely coming off the bench with 6 and 12. You also have Archie Jones, who has 19 starts, not quite what Thornhill has managed, but a lot of that's been because of injury. He missed a fair amount of time, and a lot of those 22 have been while recovering from a couple injuries that he's had this year. But 10 and 5 for him. Thornhill's just 7 and 6. So in less time, you've seen a lot more out of Archie Jones, and Archie Jones essentially actually has caught up, is level now with Thornhill, even despite the injuries. Kitching used to get more goals, but since we moved from FM23 to FM24, and we have the new set piece manager, you get the right guy, Ben Hassel, on that far post. He's got 7 goals, more than we've ever had from a defensive player, and that is thanks to the new role, the new set piece manager, and Ben Hassel appropriately being placed on that far post. With the FA Cup now a thing of the past after what was a close, we never looked like doing anything, but Arsenal never looked like doing much of anything, and we even managed to finish the game with 10 players, and still Jurrien Timber, the only goal of that game just before halftime. We played pretty all right on the road at second place Arsenal, second place Premier League Arsenal, second team in the entire pyramid, where we aren't even in the league yet. Oldham, 16th away. It's away. We've not done well away lately. A draw and a loss, a draw and a draw. You have to go back to January, to a time that we went on the road and won. Big task at hand, even though Oldham is just 16th. We'll be at home after that to Yeovil, but they're 4th in the league. That's certainly not going to be easy. Dover on the road, relegated officially now. All they can do is spoil the party. If we're going to ever have a comfortable away game, it's that one. Dorking, 5th at home. So yes, we've got 2 playoff zone teams, but they're both at home. And then Mansfield on the road is 10th. That's definitely going to be a difficult one. Harrogate to end the season 18th place at home. You figure the odds are in our favor that we can get a result in most of these matches. You'd think maybe a couple of draws, and then winning the rest should be possible. So a couple of draws would be dropping 4 points. And with a 9-point lead with 6 matches to go, dropping just 4 points, things should be secure. Next one's on the road against Oldham. We are going to use the quick sim on that one, and we'll see how we do. Final tally on the intake was 10 new players. We have probably more than 10, though, that we could potentially part ways with. I mean, just in the U18s alone, you're looking at 5 players that are at that mid-80s or below. In the under-21s, it's even more obvious, though, with 7 players that are 80 or below, and then a further, 7 more? Yeah, 7 more that are in that 86 or below range. Choices to be made. Senior squad guys that might get bumped down to the under-21s, but we don't just simply have 10 replacements. The upgrade system is going to have to be more on a case-by-case basis, but I think I can pretty much guarantee that at least these 4, Coots, Walker, Healy, and Forbes, they're definitely gone, regardless of whether we have a player to replace them or not, as they are just subpar, period, even if they're almost at their max. I think Primus and Doran should also be let go, just for the same simple truth that they're just not good enough. And then starting with either Mawson or Northmore Bud, then you start to have to make the decision. So in reality, I think we're kind of looking at the maybe 82s and below are going to be the ones gone, and then maybe, thanks to depth, being able to let go of a few more of those players in the mid-80 range. But otherwise, the other mid-80s will have to stay with the team another season until we have proper replacements coming through the next intake. But my oh my, is that progress, because we were very much looking at players in the 50s and 60s as starters just a few years ago. With 2 suspensions, injuries, desperate need for rest, our squad is looking pretty iffy for this road match at Oldham. Webb gets the start. Redknapp pushes to the left. Rossini gets the start. McCartney gets his first start. We brought him off the bench against Arsenal. At least the top remains unchanged, and actually I think we can go one further and bring on Jones for Thornhill, which is a little bit of an upgrade. So at least our attacking 4 is intact, but behind them we're in a little bit of tatters. We could very easily give up multiple goals and might struggle with the build up as we have so much change. 3 of the 4 are either out of position or different players entirely for this one. And it requires a come-from-behind victory in a not convincing performance. Yes, we outshot them more than 2-1, but we only managed to get 3 shots on target. And even in the possession department, it was not 70+%. It was 64. So we already dropped points here. And Kidderminster have managed to get the win on the road at 10th place Mansfield. They had a tougher ask than we did, but they came out on top. They also didn't just have a midweek game with Arsenal. As a result, the gap is a little bit closer, now just 7 points with 5 to play. But the next match is definitely one to play live with Yeovil, who've dropped to 4th place with Dorking moving ahead of them as our next opponent. And, they're on 73 points. They're a good side. From the look of it, McFadden's foul was a pretty nasty one from behind, probably stomping or at least studs into the calf or Achilles of the Arsenal player. And McFadden has been given an additional 2-match ban in addition to the one he already sat. So a 3-match suspension in all, including now the Yeovil match, and then at least last place Dover for that one. But that's going to see him miss 3 straight. We're not going to appeal it either. I mean, it looks like it was pretty deserved. Best Wonder Kids list. I haven't gone through it yet, though we're not on the top 10. The hard thing about getting on this list for us is the tier we play in. And then by the time I lose players, they tend to be past 19. They're still young. They're still very much, youthful players and can reach the top lists at that point of being best players in the world. But, as you can clearly see here, I think our scenario of just being too far down the ladder removes our players from making it to any of these lists potentially, at least for now. If we get up to League One Championship, I think it's going to be possible that somebody like an Adekunle, if he was under 19, could be on a list. For now, we've still never had a player make it on any of these lists, but we'll be keeping an eye on it now on a yearly basis. With 3 players on international duty and others around, there was a weekend with rest. But in the midweek, Kidderminster have played Harrogate, team well down the standings in 19th, and crushed them 5-0, getting all 5 goals prior to halftime. As a result, they are now just 4 points behind, putting pressure on us to now step up for this Yeovil match that's still pending. It's coming in the weekend, and it's only Tuesday night. A look at the title race. We, of course, have 5 matches remaining, 3 against top 10 opponents, 2 against top 5. Not easy at this point, and we just had the easy stretch and really didn't do well through the easy stretch. I mean, we just went through 5 easier matches and only secured 1 victory in those 5. Kidderminster, meanwhile, now looking at a 20th, 7th, 8th, and 10th for their final 4 matches. So 3 top 10 opponents means it's not going to be easy. 2 on the road, not going to be easy for them to gather the points they need. But we've now opened the door. I mean, it's just a 4-point gap. It's a 4-point gap. We really need to get a result here against Yeovil to open that back up, get it to 7 with 4 to play. That's not job done, but man, oh man, does that put the pressure back on them, because after struggling for quite a while, they have won 2 in a row and finally put some pressure on us while we've been downright terrible through the quick sim phase. With our control, we're going to have to possibly control. We're going to have to control at least 2 of these, but maybe a third to try to get something going. FA Trophy is still going on. No wonder Kidderminster had a midweek game. They are playing Mansfield in the semifinal of the FA Trophy. The other semifinal is guaranteeing a tier below us with the National League South lose and Real Bedford, our closest thing to a rival in recent years, going head to head with one of them, vying for the guaranteed right to see the final of the FA Trophy against what is surprisingly, I mean, Kidderminster, yes, absolutely deserve to be one of the final 4 teams, but Mansfield's mid-table at best, and that's the only other National League team that's still there. Yikes, we got knocked off some time ago. Mansfield have knocked off Kidderminster. That's good. That's going to be deflating. Not playing in the finals is really not a big deal because it's probably going to be right after the season is done anyway. If they're going to be in the playoffs, it's going to allow them to focus on the playoffs. But for us, that's probably a good scenario. That's going to be deflating, and we just went through that. Real Bedford, meanwhile, also losing. So Lewis and Mansfield are going to play for the FA Trophy title. That was some silverware that I was hoping we would be competing for, and where it looked like we were going to be comfortable in the league, we're now on a run of bad form that we're going to need to overcome here in the final matches to keep what should be the title for us. In a rare Sunday match, we alone have this head-to-head with Yeovil, and you can see what everybody else has done around us. Everyone is done with this league game. This is our only one in pocket, and it's a big opportunity for either one of us. Yeovil can move into a on the verge of semifinal berth and getting that bye to be in the top place quarterfinal, or not. And of course, our position for the title itself is hugely important, as it will remain at that 4 or pressure on with a 7-point lead, or 5 for that matter, if we come away with a draw. Wilkinson picked up an injury that would see him out for 4 weeks. He may not play again this season, so Matty Baker moves into that bench role. Fatigue is no longer an issue. Match load is no longer an issue. We've had enough time off. That part's great, but Ben Hassel still suspended for yellow card accumulation. I think this is the last one he'll be out for, so that means Chris Webb's going to get the start. But then the McFadden issue. The only one who plays left back is Redknapp, so Redknapp moves over where he's not as good on that left side. And then that forces us into either a McCartney, who hasn't done much in his couple of games, or Rossini match. So Rossini's going to go ahead and get the start today, and McCartney's going to be on the bench and may come in, though Kamara's finally healthy. Kamara's healthy. Okay, Kamara's getting the start. Last time out, Yeovil beat us. One of our few losses this season, so we do have everyone pretty fired up about trying to get revenge on them. We'll see if we can right the ship, and this is, of course, the first match in quite a while that we have managed firsthand. We've done well in the others of late. Jones does get the start today. Davidson recovers ball. He almost had help far post, but defense recovered just fast enough and had just enough pressure on. We end up earning a corner there in Adekunle. We go far post, win that one, but don't get it on frame. We've already had 3 shot attempts very early on in this one. Looking pretty strong, but here they are in a dangerous position and getting across to the far post, but we headed away. And Adekunle blamed for that. The note at the bottom said it was a hard tackle. From a very dominating position, the players are now pretty distraught. That one nearly misses. It did just brush the inside of the post. And a fired up crowd now. Moreland! Oh, that is so close. Holder, great save. Free header off target. Jones starting the counterattack after we get a block. Lays it off though. Moreland. Brings it inside. All the way over to Redknapp in the corner, though. Adekunle cuts inside his man. Jones in between two men. Lanahan Penrace, and we are level just like that. Just minutes later, it took us all of about 5 minutes to get back in there. Adekunle in between two players, and then Jones in between two players. Brave touch there, too. And Lanahan Penrace just outruns his man. That should have been intercepted, but 27 just does not react fast enough. And Lanahan Penrace, nice going back across the goal there as that's deflected. Jones gets there first, though. Redknapp. We get another shot at this one. Webb finds Adekunle. Adekunle cutting between two players. Edge of the box. Now Kamara. Kamara inside to Moreland. Moreland curls it. Oh, did that... Not sure if I heard a thunk or whether the keeper saved that, but we have already more than one XG. They've had a penalty, and that's all the XG they've got. There's nothing else in there. I'm surprised about the call. It might have been harsh. It might not. Flag is up. Flag is up. We were offside on the initial play. Not on the finish. The finish was great. But we get caught offside there. Thomas has taken a knock. Webb wins that header but does not clear it well. And they score. And they score. Poor clearance from Webb. And then we do not close out the ball fast enough. It's a terrible clearance from Webb. I mean, he looks pretty free there, and he just pops it straight up. Bertrand, a little give and go. Was Thomas offside? We got called for the offside. Was he? Work to do. We're going to come out attacking. We've dominated the game. We have dominated the game, and yet we trail. So going more attacking now. We were already in control, and with a lead, you figure that they're going to change their mind and go more defensive. So we're going to have to be aggressive here. We are playing to win, not to draw, and this is frustrating that we are dominating and yet have given up 2 goals. Moreland, Lanahan Penrace combining nicely. Jones into space. Good play there. Lanahan Penrace, not a fan of him going backwards on that occasion, but 2-on-1. Adekunle does not use the space properly on that one. Could have linked up well to get in closer. He backtracked for the space, and that was a poor decision. And then curls it. Oh, wow, that was close. Okay, up the tempo. Do we want to counter? Well, let's distribute quickly at least. We don't necessarily need to roll it out. I think we can go a little bit longer. He's had a rough day. Davidson. Redknapp. Inside to Moreland. Moreland. Oh, so close. Holder. 2 nice saves in this one. And again, that domination piece. How are they getting the goals and we are not? Kamara. Atkins. Change of tactic could be coming in mere minutes. Kitchen. Jones. We do have Thornhill available. Davidson. Holder. A third. Brilliant save. Tips that one up and over. That one not as well placed as it could have been. This time they win. That was looking like the moment. They are time wasting big time. Kamara. Good recovery. Pitching. Taking a little too much time on the build up here. Jones. Nice. In space. Lanahan Penrace. Goal kick. Not offside. Okay. Time for the tactical change. I think we're going to be really bold with this one. Webb is the one who's going to come off. Thornhill is going to come on. And Thornhill is going to play alongside Jones. Oh, come on. And then they get a goal off the throw-in. We don't defend it well. And that's definitely not offside. We are hugging the line as it were. Through traffic. Julian can't see it. Yes, we're definitely going with the changes now. Jones! Oh my gosh, Holder. 4 big saves today. And Julian has nothing. 15-5. We are more or less getting FM'd on this one. Domination, ball, attacking with fervor. And yet, their goalkeeper's having a huge day. Davidson puts it in the back of the net, but we're still down a goal. Giving ourselves a fighting chance, and there's enough time on the clock. 15 minutes left. Davidson definitely onside. Ooh, well, that was questionable, actually. This is going to be tight. He's playing him on, but then... Ah, there you go. The leg. Looking for the block. I see. It's onside. Julian makes the stop. We make the recovery, start the counterattack. Jones tripped up. Ball. Doesn't even get a yellow card. Are you kidding me? Atkins, the only one on a yellow. Davidson. Get there, get there. There we go. Lanahan Penreese. Big chance. Finds Mortland. Instructions. Kamara cuts inside. Jones lays it off. And Penreese. Jones making a run. And he has equalized. In the 90th minute, we've come back a huge point here, but the job is not done. We got to keep working here. We want all 3 points. All 3 points. If they're going to give us a chance to make this open in the last couple of minutes instead of sitting back, we are going to take advantage of it. Kitching. Thornhill. Adekunle now. Early cross to no one. Bad giveaway. It's giving them numbers. Mary, one-on-one, and Julian barely gets enough of that to push it wide. And Mary again. This time we clear away, but only partially. Big block there. Mary, we just get in there enough to clear that away. And here in the final minute, they're the ones getting the chances. And still time wasting. Trying to hang on for a point desperately. Davidson. Okay clearance, not a great one. There, we win it back. 3 guys pouncing on the ball, and then we immediately give it to them to put it out for another corner, and the time's going to be up here. Yeah, they've wasted 30 seconds to set up for this corner. Still wasting time, and time is officially up. Now it's just up to the ref's discretion. Remember, our goal was 90th minute. They would have already announced, and that's it. We have battled back from 2 goals behind to salvage a point. We have dominated this game outside of the penalty. They've had so little XG otherwise, and yet somehow got 3 goals. 0.8 of their 1.4 XG came from the spot. Came from a really harsh one because he's facing the wrong direction. Adekunle looks like he wins